7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Social 7 New Year's Edition.
Welcome to a special edition of the Social 7. We look at the top stories of 2008 in social media and marketing.
All right, headed straight into your number 7 story of the year. If you were watching this, you have probably heard of Microsoft's failed attempts at buying Yahoo. The company ended up offering $31 per share for Yahoo stock, which is valued at $44.6 billion. And after weeks of the offer going back and forth, dominating the news cycle, Yahoo ended up rejecting the offer. So it was huge this year.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Some people are speculating that Microsoft may come back, try and buy Yahoo again in 2009. That $31 a share was already overinflated from what Yahoo was actually worth at the time. Their stock is now down to around $10 or $11 a share. So Microsoft could swoop in, grab them at a bargain basement price. Now Microsoft has said publicly that they don't want to anymore, they're not interested, but wouldn't be the first time a company has said something and done another.
Our number 6 story, social networking continues to explode and take off in 2008. Obviously the big giants being Facebook and MySpace continue to battle for a dominant market position in the US and globally, where globally Facebook is number 1. As well as in this year, it's expected that, it's predicted that Facebook is going to surpass MySpace in monthly uniques in early 2009, whereas Facebook being close to about 50 million monthly uniques, and MySpace around 56 million. So.
And I mean, we've seen Facebook in the news for the past couple years now. So why is it big this year? Well, it's actually grown 70% globally this year. So that's just huge, and it's really become mainstream with the redesign, and it's just really changing the way we interact with our social networks and offline social networks also, bringing them online.
Moving to number 5, the iPhone has had a profound effect on technology and social media in particular. It's one of the best-selling phones of all time. It's really brought smartphones to the consumer mainstream, from the business user to the consumer user. It's sold 12 million units roughly, and it's very interesting to see how people, have been using them.
I mean, the biggest development, for many people has been the App Store.
Yeah.
Being able to download, so many different applications, especially your social networking sites. Free applications for MySpace, for Facebook, for LinkedIn. Those are the top 3. 3 of the top 10 free apps of the year. So it's really enabled mobile social networking to take off, and being able to, people are just connected to their sites and their communities online for longer and while they're on the go.
Yeah, definitely. All right, straight into your number 4 story. I am sure you are aware of the recession we are all in right now. Everyone's experiencing it across all different channels. It's the number 1 story right now, and it will be.
We were going to get better hats, but
we couldn't afford them.
Anyways, in this down economy, it's really driving people online to get their news. And I know we've seen that the past year in general, but the economy has really just accelerated this trend. And for one example, actually, just during the past Christmas shopping, all retailers have reported decreases in sales losses, and actually Amazon has reported a huge increase. This was their best year ever, so that's just one example of how the economy is driving people online.
And jobs. I mean, this recession, a lot of companies of all sizes are laying off people. People are going online to look for jobs, and they're going online to sites to strengthen their relationships with old colleagues, to network with other professionals who might help them get a job. So LinkedIn has been experiencing tremendous growth over the past few months, and it's continued to see this growth in 2009 as more people try to strengthen their relationships and get a job.
Yeah. Company, or the website that's probably had the single biggest increase in influence this year, Twitter. It's been around for a couple years now, launched in 2006, but 2008, it increased its amount of influence and just centrality in social media huge. It's been at the center of a number of big stories. The terrorist attacks in Mumbai, hundreds of people were tweeting from Mumbai about what was going on. The Motrin Moms controversy started and really happened on Twitter. And of course, the election. There was a huge use of Twitter in mobilizing supporters for both sides. And they were both extremely good at getting their word out to their supporters through Twitter. And like I said, it's really shown itself that it's going to be this central hub of activity and organization, I think, for years to come, really.
Yeah, and one thing that has really accelerated Twitter and just really made it become mainstream is A, celebrities getting on Twitter, and B, companies getting on Twitter. For example, Britney Spears, Shaq, who Nick is a big fan of, have gotten on Twitter and taken that to their fan base. And also companies such as Starbucks and Whole Foods have gotten on Twitter also. And it's really opening up the platform to a whole new audience that wasn't in it before. It's not just tech anymore, it's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Another big story, moving on to our number 2 story, is media going digital. And by that we mean, your print publications going online. Obviously, this is affecting jobs in terms of number of reporters that are hired for Tribune, that potentially going bankrupt. But one of the biggest news developments in this trend is Christian Science Monitor, which has been all print for 100 years, and now it's going all digital this year. So since 1908, they've been print, and now they're going all digital.
Yeah. The other thing that's been interesting with this is a legitimization of current online media. You've seen the old traditional media is really starting to recognize that online media they're real media. They're now eligible to win Pulitzer Prizes. Talking Points Memo recently won a Polk Award for their investigative reporting during the election, and I think you're just going to see that continuing to happen and online media really proving themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of elections, that brings me to our number 1 story of the year. You guys ready for it?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm guessing it has to do with elections.
Possibly. Drum roll, please. All right. The number 1 story of the year has to do with the elections and their use of social media tools to engage constituents. I mean, this is something we haven't really seen in past elections, but this year Barack Obama and McCain have both really utilized social media tools to really engage with their customers. And some people even say that it's social media that won Barack Obama the election, which we all know isn't completely true, but it definitely did help. I mean, he really used social media in a way that nobody has ever done before. He's used an iPhone application, he used a Facebook fan page, he used Twitter, he really used a whole bunch of different social media channels and created one effective brand and brought that online and engaged people online. So
yeah, he obviously also used it to just raise an incredible amount of money, $700 million
online. That's huge.
Over the course of his campaign. And like I said, he just really was able to, by combining his personal brand and his personality with social networking tools, show what you can really do in spreading a viral message through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in 2007 you wouldn't have been able to predict that in 2008 the race to the White House would be through Facebook, it would be through YouTube, Twitter.
I think we would have, because we love social media so
and as
much.
Experts and knowing all. Yes.
But I think
I
think a lot of political experts though really didn't see it coming, and were I think also impressed by the amount of power and influence that the internet showed in this election.
And I could say McCain didn't see it coming as well in his campaign, the way they talked about it after the fact, that they didn't realize how much it would take off as well.
They wish they would have had an iPhone app.
Yeah.
So that's
All
our
right.
top 7 stories of 2008. We hope you enjoyed it and had a
Thanks for
great
tuning in.
2008. But,
make sure you keep joining us all through 2009. We'll be keeping on going. Next week, we'll be back with the first 7 stories of 2009. Who knows? One of them could end up as one of the top stories at the end of the year. You'll have to keep watching all year to find out, I guess.
And as always, each week, feel free to submit your photos, your video, and your tweet of the week online at thesocial7.com.
So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Year.
Happy New Year!